Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to UCMMA 32 weigh-ins and press conference. First, we'd like to thank the sponsors: Iron Gym, Official Watches, MMA Holidays, LDG Fitness Centre, NG Tuning, GBR Nutrition, and Bad Breed Blitz. Thanks to all the fighters, the trainers, all the guys that have made this happen. Remember guys, without you, we can do whatever we can here, but without the fighters stepping up here tonight to fight, there ain't no fight tomorrow night. So give them a massive round of applause to all the fighters who've made it. Thank you very much. Also I'd like to say, in a couple of weeks' time, there's a guy that, from the ranks of UCMMA, has made it to the co-main event of the UFC. Give him a massive round of applause, Jimmy the Poster Boy. I'm sure that everyone here, Jim, wants to see you do well and make you knock something out. We know the bonuses are big back there, so bring some home. Another thing, we've had Michael Page here today. Some great fighters have come from nothing to something. And that's what it's all about. Putting everything on the line tomorrow night, not just going out for a £1,000 win and just holding on. That's what UCMMA proved. They go out there, put everything on the line, get knocked out or knock someone out. And that's what's entertaining. That's why people keep coming back and back. That's why the shows are packed out. It's not a bore fest. This is where the action begins. And this is where people want to see you go, right to the top. So again, well done guys. The first Safe MMA show is tomorrow. And it has been a real hard struggle. As all the fighters know, doing their bloods, their tests. It's not easy, but it's a right step forward. So I just want to say thanks to Izzy and Jack from Harley Street. And hopefully the two doctors are here. We've still got, I think, a couple of blood tests to do this afternoon. But we've got a full Safe MMA card apart from the K1 fight. So guys, this is the way forward. We ain't going backwards now. You know, I hope by next year we're doing steroid testing and all sorts of testing. We want to make this a legitimate sport, and that is definitely the way forward. So I know it's been a hard road, but guys, especially everybody in here today that's done UCMMA 32, you've done really well. And again, thanks to the guys, the fighters, and the gyms. Special guest here, we've flown over again from Spike TV, who's been in the game. I've known Bobby for a long, long time. You know, he's been right from the very beginning around the Tap Out guys, and I had the pleasure of seeing his film called The Mask. And any of you know about Tap Out, how it started. It's an emotional film, and anybody who's been right from the beginning will know the struggle we've had to do to put MMA to where it is today. And I'd like to bring out Bobby Razak here. Bobby, if you're about, Bob, come up here, I'm going to say a few words. And guys, you have got to see this film. You have got to know what the struggle was with MMA. To see Chuck Liddell, all the guys, just like you, on small shows doing nothing, and now they're multi-millionaires. But Bobby has made a lot of this possible. So again, Bobby Razak, round of applause. Well done, Bob.
Put me in the spot here. Well, guys, I'm real honoured to be here. Dave is like, you know, the godfather of British MMA on the promotional side. I'm real happy to be here. I don't know if you guys know much about me, but I'm born and raised in Tottenham. I went to America like 15, 16 years ago. I'm actually the founder of Tap Out Films. I was with Tap Out from the very beginning. We developed it to a really amazing brand. We've got a couple of movies coming out. Mask, which is on Charles Mars Lewis, who is the founder of Tap Out, who died maybe 4 years ago right now in a car crash. Rest in peace, Mars. And also we got the history of MMA, which is a really amazing film, covers the whole history of MMA. And from the very beginning, like maybe 20 years, all the way to where it's going right now. Dave is actually one of the sponsors of the history of MMA and Mars movie. We're honored to be here. I also work for Spike, I work for Bellator. So I've got my eyes and ears open. I want to cast more from here. I maybe do 30, 40 commercials a year. From Street Made to Dethrone, all the Tap Out spots. I'm always looking for good talent. So guys, have a good night tomorrow, and fighters, I look forward to seeing you.
Bob, you forgot to mention one thing, because they love the dollar over here, they love the money. You and your man are going to put up £500, is that right, for Fighter of the Night? Here he comes. Yeah. These big Americans, I love them. Hang on, dude. Got some money in my pocket. Gonna make you guys rich. That's what I'm talking about. I can't do it, but guys on this game, massive round of applause, give a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Actually, I'm Canadian. Not really sure where to go from there. No, I am Canadian. I live in the Los Angeles area. Good friends with Bobby Razak. We're actually training partners, and we've been doing some business together. I'm not sure if you guys know, but the eyes of the mixed martial arts world are on the UCMMA for a couple of reasons. Primarily because of the action, secondarily because of the knockouts. When a lot of people say, I'm tired of watching the UFC, they say, why? Or they're asked why? Because it's not like the UCMMA. I've heard that. This is before I even got involved in the lobby. I've been watching since Cage Rage, you know, and that whole thing. I mean, you guys have just an amazing, amazing event. And at the very least, North America's watching. Probably the world. So, there we go. Oh, and sorry, fight of the night, more specifically. Yeah, we want to kind of showcase and bring to light how amazing you guys are as fighters. The MMA scene in the UK is vastly different, in a lot of ways superior to what we get to see in the United States and Canada. Here, it's all about the action. It's all about putting it on the line. Oftentimes, when I've seen a fighter lose because they didn't want to round out a win or let it go to the judges' decisions or what have you, I often felt that person was a better fighter. That person deserved more accolades, more recognition. So that's what we want to do tomorrow. We want to take the fighter of the night, the person who best represents UCMMA and UK MMA, which is UCMMA really, and give them a little bonus, a little bit of appreciation, a little love. So there you have it. Cash money.
Thank you very much, sir. God love these people. Also, like I say, a massive thanks. Every year this happens. On my anniversary of 22 years, we're working here again. So, Mel O'Donnell, I'd just like to say thank you very much for putting up with me for 22 years, love. You've done a good job. Fighting right bonus, give her a bunch of flowers. It's £500 now. I think somewhere, if you lost it, you lost it. It ain't my problem.
Thank you.
That's all right. See you later, boy. Stay in a hotel, didn't we? Right, also, tomorrow night, again, there's another first for you, mate. We are on prime time, but we're going from a studio, which is in Tottenham Court Road. Neil Grove and Brett Freeman are presenting. Then we're coming back to the studio, back to the Troxy, it's going to be hard, because we're not like the UFC with Fox. They've got the massive money. We're doing it on a budget, but we're doing it on a UCMMA budget, and I'll guarantee you we will knock the socks off of it. But I need you fighters not to be swearing out there. We can't cut you out this time. If it's live, it's live. So guys, please in the cage, don't F your mum this and F your... Please, I'm begging you. Just be really nice in the cage. Do all your call outs, it's not a problem. But no swearing, try and be gentlemen. And again, if you lose, lose like a man. Because we'll bring you back again, 100%. Wow, right. Rules. Grant's not here today to give you the rules. So I'm going to do it in about 15 seconds. It's the UFC rules, apart there's no elbows on the ground. Any problems with that? Okay, come on, yeah, so it's UFC rules. Everybody knows you've all fought here before. It's exactly the same, except there's no elbows on the ground. I don't want to see guys with big cuts or the fight stopped over a big cut. So that's all we do. There'll be a full breakdown of the rules tomorrow in the changing rooms. We've also got UK 1 fights, they're all with MMA gloves. No elbows to the head. One knee in the clinch. And again, Grant will be in the change rooms to run over all the rules with you tomorrow. So any problems with the UK 1 fighters, hands up now. But if not, Grant will run right through you tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. Right, okay. We are now down to questions for all these guys. And just bringing back here a guy who was a cage race champion, fought for pride. It's a real pleasure to have Mr. Zelk Galesic on the card. Give him a round of applause. He's also fighting the champion, and Lyndon says no one's going to take his belt. So first off, I want a couple of questions to these two champs here. Any questions, please? Yes, sir.
So it seems like just a little while ago since you were arm-barring Curtis Stout here. And since you've been around the world, what's the difference between the fighter then and Zelk now?
I enjoy more fighting here. This is like my second home. I'm finally back home after all many years. I talked to Dave for a long time, and I'm really chuffed to be here. I fought on Green, Pride, Bellator, K1 Heroes and stuff, and I'm really happy to be here. This is where the real excitement is coming in.
And Croatia has been going crazy. We get emails non-stop. They all want to see Zelg on TV, on the internet, so it's going to be a really good, exciting fight. Any questions for Linton? Because Linton's got other ideas. Yes, sir.
Linton, how excited are you to be fighting someone who's obviously got so much experience, and do you feel this is the toughest fight of your career?
Yeah, definitely, man. I need fights like this now to get to the next level. So, Zelg stepping up I'm really chuffed with that, man.
And do you think, you've been suffered a few injuries and you've been sick recently, leading up to your last 2 fights? Did that play into your mind going into this fight? Did that play on your mind?
No, not at all. That was back then now, but I'm all good now. Nothing stopped me from training, so yeah, I'm 100%. So.
What do you expect from him, Linton?
What from Zelg? Just to come out throwing punches and kicks, takedowns, everything really. It's a fight, so nothing that no one else has tried to do. So yeah, that'll be a good fight tomorrow.
You've been training at Shoe Fighters. How's that helped you? Like I say, been there 8 weeks, 10 weeks, or you've been there a lot longer?
Yeah, I'm training along the Shoe Fighters for the past 3 years, 4 years. I've been around, and I can tell you it's the best camp for me. They have lots of people my size there to spar, and basically they have everything I need to change the game. I have good striking in Croatia, but this is like the best camp for MMA for me.
And you've got to remember, you was a world champion taekwondo as well?
Yes.
World champion taekwondo before 3 times before he stepped into MMA. So Linton's got to be wary of the punches and kicks. Right, what I'm going to do, a lot on the internet, I don't know if you see Facebook, I'm not a Facebook fan, but 2 guys that are non-stop, Bag and Tag and Umar, been on it, sending each other pictures. Umar, what's the beef with Bag and Tag?
Bag and Tag, you should see outside Troxy and sell his t-shirts. You spend too much time on Facebook.
This has been going on, I was doing my nutty, but that's why I brought them on the top table. They're entertaining me. Bag and Tag, what do you say to that?
I'm saying, Umar, bring your A game. Straight.
It's that game.
What was that?
It's going to be that game.
Good for you. At the end of the day, it's going down tomorrow.
I want the title to be on the show, my friend, not sucking asses. Yeah? I want the welterweight title, 3 hard rounds to be here. Trust me, man, I work hard. Believe me, hard.
Dave.
You've been working out, I know it's all about working out, mate.
Umar,
2 years, mate.
good for you. And 2 years, you're still where I'm at my second fight. Listen, yeah, I've been slept on. You slept with me, yeah? Okay, I'll speak into this. He slept with me, right? No homo, right? I've been underestimated, he's over-exaggerated. I'm gonna get stated. Thank you. I'm gonna get rated, you're gonna get humiliated. Straight up. Straight, I can't even... Dave, let's go over there.
Hang on, Umar, give me a chance, I'm getting old, mate.
I'm a married man, I've got a son. You know, I'm loyal to my wife, yeah? But look at you, look at the state of you, mate. You look like a crackhead.
You see what I mean? All week long, non-stop. Give me a round of applause. I'm looking forward to that one, I really am. And that's why we put it on. The main event tomorrow, we are from 8 o'clock. We are from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock live on prime time. The 2 fights after this is Umar and Bag and Tag, so no one will leave the building for this one, trust me, they'll be staying. And Arnold Allen and Carl Orris. So 2 fights on after the main event. Right, also another 2 big middleweights going at it. Carl Lawrence and Mukunge. Carl, any questions to Carl Lawrence, please? Yes, sir.
I know you've been training with Simon Yao with the Bujinkan Jiu-Jitsu. How do you think that's going to help you against
I just have to do something, like my fights I normally slug it out and say I know technical stuff but I get in a slugfest, like, so I just sort of step back a little bit, try and take a different approach and try and be a bit more technical, so doing a few different things that was it's worked, it might be less of a brawler, more technical, so we'll see how it plays out tomorrow.
Carl, that's why I bring you back, because you're a brawler. That's what I love about you. And Mukunge, you 2 are going to go right at it about all that technical stuff. Please don't go technical tomorrow. Any questions for the man?
You've shown in the past that you're an explosive sort of finisher, but I think he's got a bit of an experience advantage over you. Do you think that's going to play into things? Or?
Not really.
Down it with that. No. That's good. No. Any more questions for one answer? Yeah, here we go.
Have you been specifically focusing on one training point, or more stand-up, or you've been on the
No, to
ground
be
game?
honest, I work on everything just as much. So, like, it's MMA, so I don't see why you should only concentrate on one part of MMA when there's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, and Muay Thai. So, unless your game is on par with the rest of it, you might not be doing MMA, to be honest.
Good. Any more questions for them two? Yes.
Tell us a bit about Donna Hatton, please. What's the shirt? Seen it all around?
Oh, this is my friend's mum, which passed from cancer. So we're all just showing our support. So if anyone can offer any money, come on. You
know, unfortunately, cancer, it hit some of us at one point or other, in families, etc. Our family. If you can raise money in white collar MMA, we try and do that. It's always a good fight. Forget the fights here. But fighting stuff like cancer is always good. A massive round of applause. Give a round of applause. Right, also, two fighters that used to train together. I think they like each other, but they don't really say much. But let's try and get something out of them. Scott Stribling and Mr. Mike Noon. Any questions for Scott?
What's it like fighting a former training partner?
I think a few wires have been crossed here. Me and Mike have never trained together. We don't really know each other. I think there's a bit of mutual, respect. He's a good fighter. I'm happy to fight him, but it was just it was a gym rivalry. But he doesn't even train for the gym that the rivalry's from. So.
Can you give us some insight of where that rivalry stemmed from then, considering you never trained
I'd
together?
rather not give them the publicity they probably want, to be honest. But.
I don't like him, boys. Big gal, sort him out. Mike, what's your take on all that?
I'll give it publicity. Publicity is, he used to work for a gym that I now work for, and that gym, Nemesis Gym, and he don't like him, and he don't like them. So that's where the rivalries come from. We have never trained together, we've got mutual respect for each other, we both think each other is a good fighter. But because of the little bit of background and that the fight was suggested, it's been billed as a grudge match and all that lark, but at the end of the day it's a fight, and it's a professional fight, so we're both going in there as professional fighters to fight a professional fight, and whatever happens, do you know what I mean? It happens as any other fight. The grudge ain't with me and Scott, but I'm sure it's going to make it more interesting, and he knows of me, I know of him, I've seen him about all my life. We live within a mile of each other, I always have done, but it makes no difference.
Any more questions for the grudge match? Ain't a grudge match. It's probably done me up. I spent all my thing on grudge match. I've got a word with you two. Gal, pull out a grudge match from somewhere. No, nothing. All right then, we're going out to the middleweights now. Jason, that opponent after opponent put out. One man stepped up on 3 days' notice, rushed through safe MMA. James, I shake by the hand because no one wanted to fight Mr. Radcliffe. Give him a round of applause. 3 days' notice. Are you all right? Why did you say yes?
Why not?
Why not? That's what I'm talking about. Jason, opponent after opponent. I'm glad you took the fight in the end. What's it been like with all these opponents pulling out on you?
No, man, I trained long enough for this fight, It's good that he stepped in. But it's going to go down to him.
Sorry, James. Right, any more questions from Mr. Radcliffe? Yes.
Yeah, Jason, you were scheduled to face Ben Callum for the middleweight title. Obviously, due to circumstances, you had to pull out. Are you looking at a title shot with a win tomorrow?
I had to pull out that fight because my best friend passed away and stuff. So I wasn't all there. I was in bits. You know what I mean? So he won the title and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm no longer training at my gym that I was training at before. I made that choice. I'm not training at London Shoot Fighters. They plugged me in with some different stuff. You know what I mean? I got some new batteries. So you will see it tomorrow. You will definitely see it tomorrow.
And do you feel you've benefited from this new fight camp then?
Oh yeah, of course. Look at Zell. Come on. Like, he's my training partner. You know what I mean? We sparred. There's other fighters there that you don't know of. It is the place to be honest.
Yes.
Obviously, in your mind, you might have been fighting Muhammad Ali, and then 3-4 days you find out different. Does that kind of unnerve you a little bit? I mean, you had a game plan for one fighter, and then man takes a big step up.
Yeah,
Now
you know,
you've got
like,
to change.
I was training all disciplines anyway. You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali, you know, he done certain things, made certain mistakes, you know, and we was trying to fill them mistakes and trying to capitalize on them things that mistakes that he made. But you know, he pulled out. So, you know, it still doesn't matter. It still doesn't mean that I'm going to use the same game plan that I had for Muhammad Ali on him. So, you know, it's the fight at the end of the day.
Fight's a fight.
Right, okay, the one, the only. Again, poor old Tony, 3 opponents, but now you've got, I can't even pronounce his name, another Lithuanian. Tone, what's going to happen tomorrow? He hasn't turned up today because he's at work. What's going to happen tomorrow?
No, he has actually turned up. He just can't fit through the door because he's got a big muffin head. That's the reason that he's not in here at the moment. But muffin head, you can hear me out there. You're going to get your muffin head took off tomorrow. Simple as that. But I will announce something now. Tomorrow night will be my last K1 fight because MMA, the Rhino will pave the way. The next fight after that, MMA. I'm going to start destroying the middleweights, left, right, and centre. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Tony, calm down. Any question for Tony? Tony Giles. Any questions? I don't want to ask questions, Tony.
I've only done 3 hours of training.
3 hours. About running through the middleweights. I said I think Kunga needs to ask him a question about running through the middleweights.
What's his wrestling like? Kunga, any questions?
What's your wrestling like or your jiu-jitsu, man?
Shit. If anyone gets me right hand and they're going to sleep.
So I take it you're just an hard Irishman then, yeah?
Well, I'm not even Irish. I was born in St Peters. Where was you born, Cook?
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh, I can't even say that.
What do you spell it over?
I don't know, but it's going to get interesting in April, that's all I say. Listen, people, again, we're going to square the fighters up, we're going to take their shirts off, all the publicity shots are going to be
Hard work, dedication. Hard work. Dedication. Hard work.